The Weir Women's Network plays a really important role in helping us to build an inclusive culture at Weir, where everyone can bring their entire selves to work. The Weir Women's Network is a group of people at Weir that are dedicated to the attraction and the retention and the development of women at Weir. In 2021, when Kristen Walsh started as our Regional Managing Director for Weir Minerals, it became pretty clear fairly quickly that she was a really big advocate for inclusion and diversity. So she approached me to say, hey, is this something that we could look at exploring for Australia, to have a Weir Women's Network? What might that look like? And I knew it was important to get a group of women from lots of different locations, lots of different parts of the business, and lots of different job roles to have their input. I knew quite a few women in Weir, so I started making phone calls, and it was pretty amazing that every single person that I called was really willing to get involved. And from that, the Weir Women's Network Australia chapter was born, and I was elected the chair.
I was often the only female on site throughout the years of my career, and I heard about the Weir Women's Network. Obviously, I needed to be a part of that, and I wanted to be a part of that, not just because of, gaining that knowledge and information from those sessions, but also what I could bring to the table. So my experiences and my shared learning as well.
The Weir Women's Network was a grassroots initiative, and it was started in Weir, ESCO in the US in 2014 by a group of women on the engineering shop floor.
Weir as a business has a large focus on creating an inclusive culture across the business, and that's on a global scale. And so having different groups such as the Weir Women's Network, whether that's globally or whether it's at the local level, has been really vital in providing opportunities for women to feel empowered within their roles, to feel safe within the organisation, and to have that opportunity to develop within their respective roles.
Last year, the Weir Women's Network ran our first event. We were completely blown away by the support that we received. More than a quarter of all employees attended that first event. So the reach and the impact was far bigger than we thought it ever would be.
Unfortunately, as women, we still need a network, and it's really good for us to be part of something bigger, a shared space where we can communicate and have ideas in a trusted space.
We've had, multiple events that have been very well attended, and I think that goes to show that that message is being spread, that this is a serious initiative and why it's important.
At the end of every event, we've been asking for feedback, and we've received a really overwhelming response rate of people who would attend again, would like to see more of these events. And we regularly ask them also for feedback on what they would like to do more of or less of. So because we've only been doing this for the last 12 months, we're also really conscious that we need to seek feedback and adapt to where our organisational culture's at. I've had people reach out to me from the LGBTIQ+ community to have conversations, to say, hey, here's how we can be more inclusive. I've had people who represent the neurodiverse community say, hey, there's some work to be done here as well. So the fact that we're making a space for people to talk about these difficult issues has meant that other people are being impacted in a positive way through the community as well.
I think the Women's Network at the moment is at a point where it could go anywhere. So I suppose it's around having those conversations, finding out what women are needing. I think it's always going to be changing depending on the landscape and depending upon the people that are in the network to provide those opportunities. And so I think at the moment it's focusing on our allies, it's focusing on having that unified message across the business and really taking action on those areas that we think we could improve.
A good learning for us and something that has worked is that it's really important to keep seeking feedback and listening to everyone at all levels. So rather than it being a top-down approach, that we really are genuinely seeking feedback, really asking open-ended questions, truly listening, and then adapting our events and our content and our learning to meet where people are at and what they need. What I would like the industry to take and learn from this grassroots initiative is that, like anything else that's worthwhile, it's not easy. If you're going to embark upon something like this that really is a pretty large culture shift and change, don't expect it to be easy. Know that there is work, know that it'll take time, know that it'll take resources. But if you can get everyone to work together and head in that direction, it will absolutely be worthwhile.